From the WDXY studios in historic downtown Sumter, At Your Service Home Care presents Medical Forum with moderator Jeff Reed.
And welcome. I'm your host, Jeff Reed. My co-host, Chris Marr. Welcome to Medical Forum. We meet every Saturday to discuss medical happenings here in Sumter and surrounding counties. Dr. Marr, how was your week? You getting moved in to the new facility?
Week
there
was good in the new
Baldwin?
office. Patients seem to be enjoying the new office. More parking.
Yes.
Better waiting room, but larger waiting room. So we're located now at 698A Boltman Drive.
So at your office, you got more space too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, last week I really enjoyed having Missy Reese on the show. We talked about what a pillar of the community the YMCA is. Anyone who caught that show or happened to miss it, 103 years.
It's
the
impressive.
YMCA has been in Sumter. I think 1967 at the location there on Miller Road. But some of the great, I hope people that, I've had people comment on the show, but I hope people taking advantage of all the things that are available there, especially our elderly, our seniors that are out there with the Zuma swimming classes and the silver sneakers and all the other fantastic, the nutritional classes. And I think me and you both talked about how great it is to get our seniors not pounding their bodies yet getting the activities.
Yeah, the water aerobics, very commonly prescribed modality for exercise, actually. Low impact, great for osteoarthritis. The epidemic of diabetes that we talk about on the show every week. I mean, getting everybody active as much as possible. And the Y has been such a dynamic business in Sumter. It's always evolving. They're always looking for new grants. They're looking for new programs, whether it's the nutritional program that Missy talked about with the eating right,
the Y-Fit
preparation of meals, the Y-Fit program that the membership is subsidized if you have a prescription from your physician. Fantastic program.
Yeah, give her a call. Missy Reese, she's her marketing coordinator at our local YMCA at 773-1404. But without further ado, we have our good friend Jeff Fall back in the house. Jeff Fall, how are we doing? Jeff, of course, the executive director for the Tuomey Foundation. How are we doing this morning?
Doing good. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate you. I know that we've got a bevy of topics to talk about. Mm-hmm. But, we were talking before the show about the YMCA and some of the things that you've worked with in the past, not only with, I think, some with the 5 Miler in conjunction. I know not this year, but physical therapy, I think, is something that you guys work with the YMCA.
Yes, and like Dr. Marr just said, the pool there is a unique asset. That's the only place in town that has a heated pool, which is very therapeutic, I guess, for those folks who need some kind of therapy. Yeah. Whether prescribed or not, it is I use it often myself. I really like the warm pool, especially in the cooler weather. But the YMCA is a great asset here in Sumter. I'm happy to say I served on the board about 6 years, so there was a time I knew a lot about it. I have not been active on the board recently, but just outstanding staff and team and leadership there with John. And they just continue to grow the membership, add resources with the staff, add programs, particularly for the family.
One of the programs that we talked about, Jeff, and I know this is something we want to talk to you about today, and Dr. Marr, we talk about this on the show all the time, with Sumter being a hotbed of diabetes. And one of the programs Missy was talking about was learning how to cook and prepare meals. And Tuomey's got something right now, Jeff, you want to share with us with diabetes and diabetes awareness. I believe you call it the epidemic next door that's out there.
I do, and please jump in, Dr. Marr. But we know that diabetes is an epidemic. It's probably the third leading cause of health-related issues and cost, not only here in Sumter, but across America. It's growing way too quickly. Most of it is preventable through diet and activity. You know, we formed our Tuomey 5 Mile Run and Walk about 4 years ago, and the Y does help us with that. We help with theirs, and they volunteer and help us as well. And we are raising money through that event to educate and combat diabetes, particularly with young folks.
And that is incredibly huge, right?
Yes.
Because the diabetes that we're seeing now is younger and younger. Mm-hmm. And I think, Tuomey is really, and these other organizations are really trying to start intervening early.
Right.
And these runs, walks, it's trying to tap that younger group of people that are really affected. And getting them out is going to help with prevention and treatment of diabetes.
You hear all these stories or comments of people, watching TV too much, video games, I don't know, bad choices in food. I don't know what, there's probably all of the above.
All of the
reasons.
Above, absolutely.
But if we can teach young folks to be aware of what they could be causing in their body by doing these things, then maybe we can begin to start turning the tide.
Jeff, I think it's a societal change. I think it's the way kids are kept involved at this point. When I was young, I came home from school.
Mm-hmm.
I'd homework for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not long, as short as it could be, but I was outside playing football, baseball, whatever.
Right.
And now it's home, get the homework done if there is any, and they're straight to the couch, and the video games are predominating many young kids' lives today.
To both male and female, because of the economy, have to be working.
Correct.
So when the wife's getting home and the husband's getting home at 7 o'clock and working around the clock, what's the simplest thing to do is to pick up the fast food and bring it home.
And TV and video games are great babysitters.
Oh, my God. I mean, we used to have 3 channels. And here's the good news. If you didn't like what you watched, you had to get up and at least go bend over and turn it. Now you got 300 that you can flip through. And if you're not even satisfied with that, you just record everything. And then you don't even have any reason to get up except, to get potato chips.
And everyone has a cell phone today.
Absolutely.
And you can do most anything sitting on the wherever with your phone.
We recently took a plane trip, and I put my 11 and 12-year-old on the plane for 8 hours. And my wife and I were a little bit worried about how they would do because there was no activity. Yeah. 8 hours on a plane is hard for me because I can't sit still. They loved it. A TV in front of them, video games. The stewardess brought them drinks. They loved it. But it's a change. It's how society has changed.
Well, as we come up on our first break, that reminds us of our sponsor a little bit, Bynum Insurance, because this diabetes and how we raise our children and keep them healthy will also affect, obviously, insurance down the line. So go by, see Karen Schwartz, 469-3030. They're on Wilson Hall Road, and we'll come back with Jeff Fawn. We'll continue a little discussion about diabetes and all the things that are happening there at Tuomey Hospital. So we'll be right back.
Back with the latest in health and medical news on Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care, WDXY 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When you buy home and car insurance, you'll receive a multi-policy discount. And when you buy life insurance, you'll get a special discount on your home and car insurance. Auto Owners will save you money on all of the insurance you already have. Now that's good policy. This is Sandy Wilson with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street, voted Best Prosthetic and Orthotic Business for 7 years.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine. And they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
This is Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
And we're back with Medical Forum. Remember that we re-air between 2 and 3 o'clock on Sundays if you miss any part of the show. We're here today with Jeff Fall talking with about programs at Tuomey, and we left off the last segment talking about the diabetes, the obesity rate, and the significant decrease in activity in our society today. And this is really especially impacts school-aged children. Tuomey actually has a program that's going into the schools. These school programs are remarkably beneficial. When I was a resident in Pennsylvania, there was a program that was put on by the American Academy of Family Practice called TAR Wars. I don't know if anyone remember TAR Wars, but it was an interesting program, and we went in as residents to grade schools, and we talked to kids about the deleterious effects of tobacco use, and not just cigarettes, but smokeless tobacco. And the kids were very receptive and responsive, and I believe that the results of TAR Wars were actually studied across the nation and did show some decreased rates of tobacco use in kids who were exposed to TAR Wars. And it was actually a fun hour to talk to these kids, and we would give them straws and say, breathe through this straw for a few minutes and show them how hard it was. And these were kind of the effects of lung disease associated with cigarette smoking. We would pull advertising from magazines and billboard advertising and show them how silly some of these things were that the marketing ploys of the tobacco industry, and kind of teach them that marketing was trying to, impact their better judgment.
Well, I think knowledge is key, Jeff. I mean,
yes.
with that, and I think that's what you're trying to emphasize. Catch them early, get the knowledge out there to where at least they can make an educated decision. A lot of kids think, okay, a little small bag of potato chips. I mean, it's nothing. There's maybe 20 of them. Read that label, 250 calories, 18 grams of fat. The amount of sugar in a bag of potato chips would probably blind somebody if they actually knew. So, and I think so manufacturers having to do labels, and I think that was some of the topics that you at Tuomey right now, Jeff, going into the schools and educating them. Tell us about the results. Tell them about some of the goals, and what's the name of the program that Tuomey's doing right now with that?
Well, we're going to use our current program called Care Reach that has been going on. I guess we've had that program in place for 10 years or longer. That started with a grant from the Duke Endowment. And Tuomey created a department of a few people and a vehicle and some ways to get into the schools. And so our Care Reach department is a team of nurses, and they go into the schools and work with all the school nurses in Sumter, Lee, and Clarendon County, primarily in Sumter and Lee, but we try to get to all the surrounding counties as best we can. So we're going to use this money that we've raised for diabetes and add to that CareReach program. We're going to do some in-service teaching for those school nurses. We're planning to start that as early as the next 3 or 4 months, probably as soon as we can get the trainers to come in. The teachers will get credit for continuing education training, so there's an incentive there for them to participate. And through those school nurses, we'll be able to identify those children that are the most, the highest at risk.
Let me ask you this. Does this also have to do with the meals that are being prepared at the school as well? Or is this after-school habits that we're trying to change, or at least to acknowledge that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know how to answer that. I would say for the most part, the meals during the day at school are pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's more of a lifestyle changes. We want to encourage them to increase activity. We talked about maybe even, providing pedometers for the kids and turn it into some games/competition. Anytime you can figure out how to provide incentives to individuals, you can pretty much get people to do whatever you want them to.
And for anyone that doesn't know what a pedometer is, it'll track every step they take.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think a lot of people do these with these Fitbits. They challenge people, and you see people, looking down going, I'm going to do 10,000 steps today. And when they have 8,500 steps and it's 10 o'clock at night, rather than get in bed, some people are prone to go walk around the block just to achieve goals. So I think education and goal-oriented is what we're talking about, Chris.
And you brought up a very important number. The studies show that 10,000 steps or greater in a day leads to a healthier lifestyle.
Really?
Well, I would challenge someone to do 10,000 steps. It's not your daily routine. A lot of us are really underestimating our daily caloric consumption, meaning how much exercise we do in a day. I mean, a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to take the steps. I'm going to park in that further parking space and walk in. That's not 10,000 steps.
No.
10,000 steps involves a long, brisk walk during the day, jog,
right,
elliptical, stair climb, or something. But 10,000 steps is a tough goal. But it should be all of our goals.
That's probably 4 miles?
I would guesstimate.
Yeah. I think so. And I think what it also does is it takes time and active. You got to be active. And you know what it does? After you've done 10,000 steps and now you sit down and that's what's great about some of the machines we talked at the Y, and I know that you have them at Tuomey with training. If you get on an elliptical, and let's just say that we work our tails off for 30 minutes, we might burn 450 calories, let's say.
Right.
Boy, that's disheartening then to go home and have 2 Twinkies and go, well, there that went.
Right.
So it's the combination, and this is what we preach on here a lot, diet and exercise. And I think the first thing with diet is to understand what you're putting in your body. And I think this is a tremendous service that you're doing with Tuomey going into the schools, because you could probably give a list to kids and say, okay, do you think these foods are healthy?
Right.
And a mashed potato, is that healthy? Well, we all know starches turn to sugar. There's certain things they're going to go, yeah, that's not good, that's not good. But knowing what really is good, and there's good fat and there's bad fat. So I think it's a tremendous service. And as we've talked about, we're just getting overrun with diabetes.
And tracking your calories.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Marr just said, if you can do 2 things, keep up with how many calories you're burning and track how many calories you're consuming.
Right.
I've always said, to me, it's simple math. You can't take in more than you burn off.
And I use that analogy in practice all the time, Jeff. Exactly what you said. I talk to patients about.
Well, you know what? I think to set an example, because we're coming up here on our second break. As we go to a commercial break, we encourage everyone to listen to the sponsors. We want to thank Tuomey. We want to thank Vine. We want to thank Reliable Medical Equipment Colonial. Why we do this, we're all going to run a lap around the building. And how many sit-ups, Chris? 10? Can we get 10 in?
Maybe 10.
All right. And we'll be right back after this break.
We'll be back with Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care on Sumter's home for news, talk, and sports. WDXY 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine, and they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When you buy home and car insurance, you'll receive a multi-policy discount. And when you buy life insurance, you'll get a special discount on your home and car insurance. Auto owners will save you money on all of the insurance you already have. Now that's good policy. This is Karen Schwartz with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street. Voted Best Prosthetic and Orthotic Business for 7 years.
This is Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
And we are back. We appreciate everyone listening in on this Saturday morning. We're here with Jeff Fall from Tuomey Foundation, the executive director, and talking about diabetes. Want to also give a little bit of a shout out Cheryl Fluharty, who is a great influence here in town, helping with all of our support groups, has a new support group called Great Goodness the Grief, and it's a support group that is designed to help those who are coping with long-term illnesses, chronic health conditions. So whether you're caring for someone or it's just someone that you know or possibly you've gone through this, we encourage you to join her on the third Thursday. It's at Your Service Home Care, 1170 Wilson Hall Road. For more information, give her a call at 905-7720. But again, Great Goodness the Grief. It's at our good sponsor at Your Service Home Care, helping people get through some very difficult times. And Jeff, we've talked this morning about the influence that Tuomey is having with the nurses at all levels of the public schools here in town, and
Correct.
helping get the word out that kids, it's no time like the present, no matter what age, to start taking care of yourself and understand the epidemic, as we know, diabetes here in the South. And I think it's just a great thing that you guys are bringing in. And is there anything that you want to add that we really should know or look at, or is this a program that the kids will be looking for as they get back? I mean, school will be here in a few weeks, and how will it be, I guess, put into the system there with the nurses?
Well, again, it'll be implemented through the school nurse programs. It will not be ready as quickly as school starts back in the fall, but we will begin to put those in place this fall.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to that.
And the monies from this come from grants, correct?
Well, it comes from two places. The Tuomey 5-miler run and walk that we have done now for the 4th year. We have raised nearly $100,000. So we have that money that we want to start putting to use. And then I'll piggyback on that. We've met and are planning to meet some more with some folks at DHEC, and there is some grant money available that we can use, again, to educate students, but we're also going to use our Health Guides program, and we're going to offer it to industry. So we're going to try to get to those people who are employed and working, so adults as well as the young folks. We're going to put it in our hospital, in the emergency room, and in our inpatient, and make it available to all of the physicians, our hospitalist program, so that anytime a patient has been identified as a candidate, then we want to try to help them as well. And lastly, we're going to take this information and go around to all the primary care practices like Dr. Marr's Colonial and give them information and try to offer a resource for them, because they're really seeing, as he said already, many, many patients that fall into this group. We know most of it is preventable, reversible, and so if and when we can identify these individuals, then we'll have resources there available to help them.
Which is absolutely essential.
Yeah, you two are doing what have given the audience a great lecture on let's get preventative. I'll put my reliable medical prosthetic hat on here. Here's what happens when we don't. 90% of all amputees that come into my office have not listened to you guys. Are hearing it out there.
Could have been prevented.
Could have been prevented. And it is a very much an environmental situation. It trickles down. So you parents that are out there being good influences on what you bring into the family. I've never seen an 11-year-old kid drive a car through a McDonald's, and not just to pick on McDonald's, but when you're the biggest, then you might as well accept it. Drive through a McDonald's drive-through. I've seen 11-year-old kids in the back seat where a mother or a parent. So the point of that is what we put in our kids' bodies generally comes from where the parents have gone to the grocery store, pick them up. And it sometimes takes a little more time, and sometimes it's a little out of the way. But let's see if we can really prevent these, because you don't want to be coming into a medical equipment office and the alternative is to have your leg amputated, or going to an eye doctor and your vision is now lost.
And programs like Care Reach are absolutely necessary. I identify patients multiple times throughout the day who have issues with obesity, diabetes, and I can counsel them for minutes, but counseling in the short term is not going to change the lifestyle.
What do you feel is the biggest thing that you can, because we're bringing Jeff on and we're telling people about it, and we're seeing these problems out here, and you see it every day and you counsel them. You guys are getting into the school, which I think is tremendous, get to the grassroots. What is one idea, one suggestion that you go, this is usually what hits home? Or
I think it's,
look, for example,
I think the easiest
labeling
example,
people now are putting out there, they're identifying these 360 calories for a Big Mac.
I think the information's out there, Jeff. I really think the information's out there. Someone who started smoking in the 1940s or 50s, that person could argue that the deleterious effects of smoking may not have been as obvious.
They didn't know.
Right. They didn't know. But there's no way with the current level of advertising against smoking. The commercials of the lady with the tracheostomy.
Yeah.
You know today how serious it is. And using the example of smoking with any lifestyle issue, it's not until someone says, I really want to make this change. So I can counsel patients about smoking all the time, talk about lung cancer, heart disease, stroke, emphysema. And until the light clicks, until they say, I'm done with this, very few interventions are going to make a difference.
Because as long as one person out of a million smoked his entire life and lived to be 90, then that can be them. But
the benefit is, saying that we've got these resources that we want to use them for the best interests of society. Teaching these kids in the school, that's where you that's where you have an impact on these things, because the kids are going to listen. The adults, as adults, we tend to be a lot less open to.
And Jeff,
new
that's
ideas.
What you guys are doing. You're catching these kids at the grassroots level. You're educating them through your nursing program. I think it's just a tremendous service that you do to the community. And as we come up here on our third break here, when we come back, Jeff, we'll talk a little bit about the elephant in the room. And we'll talk about where we are with the lawsuit. And then we'll talk about all the good things that are coming down the line for Tuomey and some of the new happenings here. But diabetes, that's wonderful. It's a problem. Tuomey's at the forefront and a stalwart to help cut down on the magnitude of this disease. And as we come back from break, we'll talk about Tuomey.
Back with more on Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street. Voted Best Prosthetic and Orthotic Business for 7 years.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine. And they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When your policy comes from us, it comes with something extra, a real person. Don't buy from an insurance company with an 800 number and a voicemail menu. Auto Owners Insurance operates exclusively through local independent agencies here to help you with all your insurance needs 24/7. Now that's a good policy. This is Ed Bynum with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Now back to Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care on WDXY, 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
And we're back with Medical Forum on this Saturday morning. And remember that we re-air on Sundays between 2 and 3. And Jeff and I have always talked about how important it is to stay local using local businesses like the Y and Tuomey. Businesses that are really support the local community. One of those great businesses is Reliable Medical. Richard takes great care of those prosthetic patients over there, and Aubrey will take care of any respiratory needs, oxygen, CPAP, nebulizers. So go over and see them at Reliable Medical. And we're here today with Jeff Fall. Again, we're talking about all the great things that Tuomey's been doing, and we do always address the update on the legal issues that Tuomey's having now. And Jeff, if you have anything to kind of add to that, has there been any update?
No, not really. And we do have to talk about it too much, I guess. It's been ongoing for nearly 10 years now.
Yeah.
As long as I've been employed at Tuomey, it's been, a major topic of discussion. But there really is no update. The latest ruling from the court supported the verdict, and so as has been printed, obviously we are disappointed in that decision. I understand that there's many options on the table to appeal, ask for a reconsideration. I'm not privy to all the options, but the board and leadership are considering the options, trying to reach a settlement. I am pretty sure there's talks and negotiations going on almost every day trying to get to the end of this, and I do believe that we are getting closer to the end, and I know that the hospital board and the leadership is working as hard as they can to come to a settlement and get this behind us and move on with the merger with Palmetto. As you also know, Palmetto has stated they are 100% committed to this merger, and we just need to get this case settled so that we can move on and get to the business of taking care of patients. And that's really what we do.
Fortunately, Jeff, despite all of these legal proceedings, Tuomey is doing great work, and they're taking care of patients. And we had just talked about all of the programs that Tuomey is sponsoring. Tuomey, despite all of these legal proceedings, has never sat on the sidelines and said, we're going to wait until this is all over. Tuomey has continued to expand, continued to provide additional patient services.
Yep.
You're bringing new physicians into the community constantly, bringing in new specialties of medicine into the community. Just in the last several years, wound care has been added, vascular surgery has been added, plastic surgery has been added. So Tuomey is not sitting on the sidelines waiting for something to occur. They are.
Well, I think
they are.
Chris, I've been in a relationship with Tuomey for 17 years now. Time does go by. I think you get your best staff, and I see the hospital running smoothly. It's a credit to the people that are there, because with tumultuous on the outside, you don't feel it on the inside. And I think you guys just came back with better rankings than you had before. So we keep getting better and better, and you might want to talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to. We do. It is a very fluid organization. We talk about this a lot, but it is truer than ever, in my opinion. The strength of any organization is really in the leadership and the people. And that's never been more true at Tuomey. I know all the leadership very well. We meet every morning. I know most every one of our over 1,500 employees, 160 nearly physicians. Know them all pretty well. It's my job to know everyone, and try to raise a little bit of money at the same time and promote these fine folks and all the different services. They all really do stay focused on their job of taking care of patients and improving our quality and patient satisfaction. Our employees are very resilient. Even the day after the verdict came back from the court, as I said, we were disappointed in that. But when you walked around the hospital, it was a non-issue, like it never even happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, says everything about our organization and how it's structured and the leadership. Just this morning, we talked about some new physicians that are getting ready to join. I'm not quite ready to announce that, but a lot of exciting things, some new physicians coming to us very soon. We just received new updates on the HCAHPS scores. I'll let Dr. Marr talk about that a little bit because it's very clinical, but it is a scorecard. It's ratings from the government, from Medicaid, Medicare, and it we got news that our star rating went up, and so we are now in the category of a 4 stars, and that being from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the best. We're in
what's
pretty
very
good
interesting?
company.
You know what's very interesting is the 4-star rating is on par with MUSC, which is impressive. But even more impressive, it's on par with the Cleveland Clinic, who is a 4-star facility.
Right.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
That's very impressive.
We're on track with Palmetto, Richland, and Baptist, so I got a feeling they're smiling over there as well.
Yes.
Because it's not like they are joining a organization that might be a notch below them, but we are at least currently considered to be on the same level.
And this is CMS coming in. I mean, these are the people that oversee,
These are
as you mentioned,
independent.
all these hospitals. And they're judging you on cleanliness. They're judging you on safety, on discharges, the quality of care. So
outcomes.
Outcomes. I mean, it's
readmission, which we talk about all the time.
Oh, yeah. And on the patient satisfaction, which we're already beginning, and it's going to increase more, but we're going to be reimbursed. For a good part of the reimbursement will be based on the patient's satisfaction. So if you come in and we're not nice to you, and you, no matter what, you may go home completely cured, whatever. But if you don't feel like you were treated nicely, then you can give us a bad score, and it's going to affect us negatively in turn. Financially, it's going to have an impact. We have to work really hard.
Well, obviously, this speaks to your rating, so congratulations on that. As we come up on our last break, again, I want to thank our sponsors there at Bynum Insurance. Stop by, give Karen and Sandy a call, 469-3030. And when we come back, Jeff, we will talk about all the foundation and their great work that they do there. So we'll be back right after this message.
Back with the latest in health and medical news on Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care, WDXY 1240 AM and 105.9 FM.
After my surgery, I heard my children discussing their fear for me to live alone. I wasn't ready to give up my home and freedom, so I called At Your Service Home Care, and now I have my own concierge. It's owned locally by medical professionals. They work with me to make sure that I recovered from my surgery. Now I can stay at home and I have a new friend that I enjoy spending time with. If I need help around the house or have insurance or legal questions or just getting to my hairdresser, they help me with it all. Call At Your Service today for your free consultation, 607-9677.
Reliable Medical Equipment has been locally owned and operated since 1999 and provides a full range of medical equipment and services. Our accredited facility has a fully certified staff, and we are here to assist you with all your diabetic shoe, custom bracing, and prosthetic needs. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, and most private insurances. We're located at 246 Broad Street. Call 934-9212 or 435-9927 for our Manning location, which is at 37 West Rigby Street. Voted Best Prosthetic and Orthotic Business for 7 years.
The doctor will see you now.
Are you new to Sumter or been here a while and in need of a new family health care provider? Look no further than the excellent care provided by the physicians and staff at Carolina Family Medicine. Carolina Family Medicine includes Dr. Philip Jansen and Dr. Tracy Ridgel, who both specialize in family medicine, and they're here to take care of you and your family, now accepting new patients. So call them today to schedule your appointment at 774-7425 or find out more at cfmsumter.com.
The doctor will see you now.
Here's a good policy from Bynum Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance. When your insurance policy comes from us, it comes with something extra, a real person. Don't buy from an insurance company with an 800 number and voicemail menu. Auto Owners Insurance operates exclusively through local independent agencies here to help you with all of your insurance needs 24/7. Now that's good policy. This is Bubba Johnston with Bynum Insurance. Call me for all your insurance needs at 803-469-3030.
This is Medical Forum, presented by At Your Service Home Care.
And we're back with Medical Forum on this Saturday morning. I'm your host, Jeff Reed. We're here with our guest, Jeffrey Fallon, of course, my co-host, Christopher Marr. And Christopher Marr has his new address on Baltman. 698A. Used to be where the old Colonial Eye Center was, just across from First Citizens. Give them a call, 773-5227, if you're looking for a physician, or if he is your physician and you're looking, where is he now? That is exactly where he's at since you moved. Did you leave a mailing address or did breadcrumbs, anything for these people?
Well, I had a patient plug in the new address to his GPS today, and his GPS took him into a field behind the mall, and I assured him that they hadn't moved me to a tent.
Oh, my goodness.
I can tell you I'm excited. That's closer to my home, so I can get there faster.
Well, I
need him.
Did you actually, and we'll just give a plug to someone real quick here, did you move there because you can be closer to your little sushi place?
Well, yeah,
just be honest.
Give a plug for the Thai house. I do enjoy lunch at the Thai house. I can walk over and see Palum.
Oh.
Well, that's another good reason.
Well, Jeff, we appreciate you coming in this morning. And, with you heading up the foundation, time always moves by much quicker than we think, but coming up, probably your banner fundraiser, the Tuomey Foundation Golf Tournament, which will be October 9th, I believe, this year. We're pushing it back about a week. Captain's Choice event out at Sunset Country Club, probably the premier. I don't even know if there's a probably. We'll just say the premier golf tournament
We'd like
in
to think
town.
so.
Well, I think it would most deserve it. This is, is this the 15th? 15th one? 14th?
17th.
17th. Maybe it's the 15th I've played personally. But you can't ask for a better tournament. And I know you get sponsors for it. And I know you've got a nice sponsor there. You're presenting sponsor with EMS this year and stuff. So maybe
Kimmy,
our
good friend Guido Hobie is a good loyal supporter of the hospital and the foundation.
And if you've seen his swing, a good supporter apparently of all chiropractors. He's got a swing that makes John Daly look like he doesn't even take the club back. Am I right, Jeff? It's one of the greatest guys in this town.
He sure is. They are our presenting sponsor, and we're happy to talk about that as much as we can, and thankful that they agreed to do that again this year. We do have lots of sponsors. I think it was more than 40.
That's awesome.
This past year. We'll have about 40 teams, hopefully a few more. We always are looking to add a few more sponsors and teams. But I want to say that we are very fortunate that we have so many of the teams and sponsors that come back each and every year and support us and help us. That money goes into our unrestricted fund, and we use it for many different things. One of them would be for the Care Reach program that we just spent a good bit of time on this morning. You did say that we changed the date a little bit. I don't know if we said this before, but we pushed it back 2 weeks from where we've traditionally been. We've had a little conflict because out at Shaw Air Force Base, they have the Military Appreciation Luncheon, and it somehow fell on the same last Friday of the month in September. And I think that's a national observed day. So that they were not able to change it, and it was to our advantage to change that because there's a lot of our military folks that like to come out and play with us too. And so this really what seems to be a small change is a pretty significant change for us.
So, again, it'll be October 9th, which, you know what, I think that'll be great weather-wise, too, anyway. And it's milder. On a Friday.
Yep.
So anyone that's football fans worried about playing, going to games on Saturday, it's just a perfect time. Teeing off at 8, get a little breakfast, which is always nice, and then we shotgun started around 9, and then first-class meal at 2 o'clock.
Right.
I mean, at Sunset always does it upright. Good sit-down meal, tremendous prizes.
Awards banquet is what most people say they look forward to, and we have some more surprises in store this time. Each year we try to give away more and more prizes. This last year we had a nice Scotty Cameron putter, Cleveland wedges, golf bags, flat screen TVs. There were over 100 gift items last time, and I think we'll easily exceed that.
Well, I can tell you personally, I have been at Reliable Medical. We've been a silver sponsor for the past 10 years, and honored to do that again this year. There's a gold sponsor, a silver sponsor. We've mentioned a presenting sponsor which out there. If you want to sponsor a whole. So there's a lot of ways. Obviously, get out and participate, or you're missing a tremendous tournament to play and all the amenities that come with it. But to be a sponsor, there's so many different ways. And the causes, as you said, Jeff, that this money is raised to go to, you couldn't ask for the money in a better steward's hands. 774-9014. Give Jeff or Laura Haygood.
Laura.
I know Laura does a great job with you on that as well.
Lastly, I want to say that we also use this opportunity it gives all the sponsors and players an opportunity to network with each other. So if you come as a player or a sponsor, I guarantee you there's going to be 30 or 40 people there that you don't know that would be beneficial to get to know. So we try to create that forum where people can, where it benefits the sponsor as well. Maybe they can make some new business contacts. And anytime we can create that environment where it's a win-win for everyone, then it ultimately benefits the community as well.
When you do it, tax deductible too?
Oh, yeah.
Because with Tuomey being a nonprofit. So the upside to the tournament is fantastic with the awards, the competition. The course is always in great shape out at Sunset. The food will be fantastic. You can support it in so many different ways, participation, 4 or 5 different levels, and I highly recommend it. Dr. Mart, I think maybe we'll play together this year.
Maybe.
You think?
Maybe.
Can I get you out
I can
there?
get a day off.
We'll set the date. It's October 9th.
There
Bring that 30 handicap.
Yeah.
Right on out here, Mar. We'll do it. Well, Jeff, we're closing now. We got about 30 seconds left. Give us again. We appreciate you always coming in and keeping us posted on Tuomey and all that they do. So I think with what you're doing with diabetes is essential and tremendous, and will save South Carolina money after money because of the healthcare costs of that. The Tuomey Golf Tournament, everything that it does and supports so many nonprofit organizations. So Jeff Fall, Executive Director. Jeff, how do we get in touch with you as we close down here in about 10 seconds?
Call us at 774-9014 or visit our website, TuomeyFoundation.org.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a great weekend. And again, if you've missed any of it, catch us on the re-air from 2 to 3 on Sunday. And we'll see y'all next week on Medical Forum.